me.
All right, guys, get off the phone. We're live. I'm sending it to you now. Don't say anything that'll compromise you. All right, bye. What up, guys? We're going Liz Ave. Hold up. Let me get the links out. Damn, I didn't know y'all were waiting this long in there, man. My bad. I thought when I created a broadcast, where's Dugan though? I thought when I created a broadcast that it didn't give you the notification until I actually went live. So hang tight. We got a few more people coming. Does the Chrome AK take Glock mags? It does. It takes these gorgeous Chrome Glock mags. Oh, that sucks, man. You gotta wake up at 4. All right, so we got Rudy. Jude your Heine.
That's how it's pronounced.
Rudy Jude your Heine, right? All right, guys. Let me go ahead and jump in and do a little explanation. So we were just all on a phone call together, and we were having a conversation. We have somebody with us here who has been on another podcast, yet he hasn't been on a stream. Clearly, you can only see the bridge of his nose. So basically, we were having a conversation about what's going on in the world of stocks. Okay. And in the conversation of the world of stocks, it took us to a place of what's going on with the new culture of our country and what type, like the effect of the new culture of the country is creating a new target, a new villain for America. So, Rudy, tell us a little bit about what you do for a living.
So like a lot of other people, there's thousands of us. After this whole, COVID-19 crisis happened, whether, people lost their jobs or, had a little bit extra money from stimulus, whatever it might have been, people started getting into the stock market. I personally found a group online called Wall Street Bets. So basically, Wall Street Bets is a group of like-minded individuals. They basically just want to, make money together. So it's more so of sharing investment ideas, things like that. And as of recently, we've become a little bit more popular.
Okay. And you may know somebody that was directly involved with this whole GameStop thing.
Yeah. So I'm not going
to as much as you want.
Put his whole name out there. Although I believe he just did an interview with I think it was like Vice Media, and he put his name out there. But he goes by the name of True Fucking Value. And he's kind of like the leader of our group. So what we found out was, so what companies do, if you're not familiar with Wall Street, is companies either bet that, hedge funds and investors either bet that companies are going to blow up, whether it's in the near future or in the far future, or that they're going to go down. There's a couple like famous people. Bill Ackman is a real popular name. He's one of the famous. He's a shorter, so he believes that he finds companies that aren't worth the value that they're trading for today on Wall Street. So what we found as a group was some big hedge funds, some hedge funds that not only were big, but they were vulnerable. They didn't have a lot of liquid money. had a lot of investments, a lot of what we call easy way to look at it is to look at it as a put. But basically, a lot of bets that that there was going to be a huge drop in GameStop, in AMC, the movie theater, and in BlackBerry, the old cell phone company, which is now just a security company.
So
And
they had a whole bunch of marks that they were trying to hustle, basically at that point, out of their stocks to be able to do defund the value of the stocks and then paying them back pennies on the dollar when they defaulted. Yet they collected all the revenue
so yeah,
out of
so
it.
essentially they were saying, "Hey, look, you know what? Today your stock's worth $50, but I bet in 6 months it's going to be worth 50 cents. So I will give you X amount of money today, a couple $100, maybe $1,000 today for 100 shares. But when they're worth 50 cents, I get to sell them back to you for what they're worth today."
Yep.
Right. So all these investors, all these hedge funds had all these, they're called short positions on these three particular companies, which fucks, these companies over. Also, it destroys, the people, the everyday person that may have money in that stock. So what we decided to do was to call their bluff because we knew they didn't have the money, the capital to actually uh, lose these bets. So what we did was we bought what's called a call option, or the exact opposite of a short, and we said that these stocks are going to go up. And by doing that in massive amounts of numbers, and massive amounts of people in a short period of time, in just a day, it shot the stock up. GameStop was up, I believe, 500%, to an all-time high of $482. The problem is now, there's a lot of folks that would say that there's the issue right there. That's not right. Unfortunately, that is what Wall Street does to us every single day. Every day, folks like Bill Ackman and others will come out and tell you that American Airlines is going to go down, or Exxon is going to be the next company to go down. Sell, 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 sell. And they do that so that you sell your shares and then they can buy for a cheaper price and profit because they know that what they're saying isn't true. In this case, they were going to try to do the same thing and lie to you and tell you that these companies were garbage and nothing, and try to drive their shares to zero. Well, when the shares went up to $400 a share, their short positions became worth absolutely nothing. And the way that they actually were set up, they went into debt. So I believe 6 hedge funds in total went bankrupt in one day.
Well, and another thing that they do is like this, we got to look at this as like this is a massive chessboard, right? So they have different facets of like eliminating the target. So if they say, okay, we're going to short this company, we're also going to send messages out to the mainstream media, and you're going to see shit on MSNBC, CNN, fucking see like all the mainstream media, and you're also going to see shit on social media. You're going to see boosted posts, paid advertisements that are all telling you, that this stock is shit.
Absolutely. And if you've ever watched financial TV, which I know a lot of people don't, it's very common to see ads for or against companies. And those ads are paid for by the hedge funds that want them to either succeed so that they can make the money off the bet that they were going to blow up, or that they, go to shit, uh, because they bet they were going to go to shit. Um, and like I was saying about the Bill Ackman guy, I mean, Bill Ackman, some people consider him the reason that the market crashed in March. Bill Ackman came out on CNBC. He told everybody that every hotel stock, every airline stock, every cruise line stock, I mean, fucking anything that had to do with hospitality was going to zero in the next fucking, 2 weeks. And within, I believe, 2 hours, the market crashed like, I can't remember, 700, 800 points, the Dow did, which is massive. And it created this huge market sell-off. Well, the same time he said that, right after his interview, he bought $2 billion worth of those stocks.
Yep.
This is what Wall Street is. Now, here's the crime that happened. This is what
It's inside train. It's inside trading, but
So-
manipulating it from the gate.
now that
You have to be inside.
that guy's allowed to do that, right? Nobody bats an eye. Nobody gets upset.
Yeah, SEC can't get involved.
But when we got together as a collective, Wall Street Bets, and did it, Robinhood, Webull, I believe TD Ameritrade, and I could be wrong, but I believe Fidelity as well. These are all different trading platforms.
Citadel is also part of it.
Yeah, Citadel. So Citadel is one of the. That's getting a little deeper into it, but yes, so Citadel's job basically is, if I buy an option for 100 shares of a company in the future, Citadel is the one that puts up the money. Even though I'm gonna have to pay for it at the end of the day, they will front the money for me, essentially, just to make it make sense. But regardless, they do have a hand in Webull and Robinhood, and they halted trading on those three different companies, which immediately destroyed and tanked those companies, which allowed all these big hedge funds to get out of their positions before they went bankrupt.
Yep.
And that, in my opinion, is the biggest, most blatant American crime that has happened. I mean, I like since like JFK was shot.
And
it's
one
insane. You're
one
talking
thing I
about
will
billions
one
of
thing
people, millions of dollars from people like the three of us, and anybody listening. That's exactly
one thing I want to add to that is the simple fact that the minute that the populace started taking control, all of a sudden, congressmen, Wall Street freaking elitist, hedge fund operators, regulators in all these areas that never stood up, never backed up, never fucking held down or helped anybody else during any other time during history. Right now, they're all trying to ban up against everybody from being able to be a free citizen, coming together to be able to try to take back their right financially on these aspects. And now they're trying to stand up and be able to fight against us. And they're literally going to end up putting up laws so people can't come together and disrupt the stock market,
yeah.
the trade markets, or anything else like that. They are literally coming together and they're trying to set all these things in place at this point. And it is super crazy because you can actually see an influx of people trying to command their own presence using their financial, liquidities to be able to do this. And now that they do this and they disrupt the status quo, all of a sudden everybody's coming to rights. And initially, these politicians are starting off making it sound like they're supporting the little man. But when you read the bills that they're trying to pass and the things that they're ended up saying, not the first couple of words, but read into the second
Well, like I just want.
graph
I don't
of
mean.
what they're putting out there, they are
Real quick,
literally.
you're
Go
coming
ahead.
through
Yeah, yeah.
garbled.
Well, real quick, let me just say something.
Am
You
I?
know, do you
Oh,
guys
sorry.
remember? 9/11 happened and the anthrax thing happened, and basically what they were telling us is that
Oh, I
the goal.
remember that.
Of course, we all do, right? The goal of the terrorists were to make us feel unsafe and for anywhere we were, right? That's what they kept telling us. They want to make sure that we weren't safe at the mall, that you're not safe at school, that you're not, that's what the terrorists wanted us to feel. That's what the government told us, at least, right? That's what the government is doing to us now. You're not safe in front of the White House protesting. You're not safe in front of your own home protesting. You're not safe behind a computer investing your own money.
Unless you're on the left.
Well, I mean,
I'm just playing.
shit.
Until
Who?
you ask for your payment.
Look, let me say something about the left, right? Because the left is funny.
I didn't mean to throw you off there, man. My bad.
No, the thing about the left is, there's no such thing as the left, right? There's like
Yeah.
5 different fractions of fucking people in that category of people, right? Like you have like your stay-at-home mom that like believes in certain things and whatever, and she wrote those Democrats. She's left. But then you have like the people that left crowbars and bashed out the windows of the Congress building. You know what I mean? Like that's also left. So which of the lefties gets my point is who's actually going to benefit, you know what I mean? um I'm just saying, as an average everyday person, you cannot invest your money safely. That you have no control. At any point somebody can just press a fucking stop button and stop all your money from moving.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Like, most of what we talk about, on this channel is that, money isn't real. Money is digits on a fucking screen, and it. But one question that came up a bit, I didn't want to interrupt your flow.
No,
Um,
dude.
was people were asking, what group, like, what is a group that you're part of, like, so they can understand that.
Like what's the group called? Or
Not necessarily your specific group, but when we were saying that you're part of a group and you all came together to basically defeat the hedge fund, like what is that? Is that just like a bunch of people on Facebook? I mean,
so,
I know about it, but tell them.
I don't know.
Random people coming together,
I don't
or
know.
this a whole bunch of people in forums that were already together and you guys decided to join up?
Actually, like that's closer to what it was. Yeah. So there's a website out there called Reddit. On Reddit, a lot of people I think flocked there just out of boredom, kind of like the TikTok craze, COVID thing, and
Yeah.
a group that had been around for quite some time caught a lot of steam, and it's called Wall Street Bet. And like I said, all we were is a collective. Like imagine, if everybody that's watching and that's on here right now, if we all got together and said, hey, like, look, we all been studying the market. We all want to make some money here. I think these are some good ideas. That's all we
So
were.
so so it's the equivalent of a forum of people coming together on Pokemon Go and trying to find the best fucking Pokemon in the area, and you guys are all joining together, but this just happens to be the stock market,
Yeah,
correct?
yeah, and to be honest with you, a lot of us were really just gamblers, things like that, and we couldn't gamble because the sports were shut down. I mean, we were, you know,
Mhm.
we're average. Most of us average guys. There are women on there too, of course, but most of us are just average Joes that fucking were bored and wanted something new to make money do. Um,
Yeah.
I think it's incredible how just a small band of people like this just witnessed and was a part of the biggest. This is the biggest fucking case of fraud in the history of the United States. I don't care how you cut it.
Oh, dude, and that's so we were talking about like the chessboard, right? And looking at what's happened now. So like let's develop it even further. So what happened and how did there's another non-governmental agency, not the SEC, that got involved and basically the Reddit page has been shut down and marked to private. The Discord has been nuked. The not the SEC, I forget what it is, but it's some basically non-governmental organization, an NGO that is regulating it that froze Robinhood. Tell us about that.
Oh, are you talking about Citadel?
No,
No. There was no NGO that
Yeah.
regulated
No.
Robinhood. It was
So,
an insider that they ended up saying, because the first thing they said was that they couldn't afford to be able to back up all these stocks, And then they turned around and said today or yesterday that they had a regulator come to them and say, if you don't give us $3 billion, we can't back any of the trades that you're doing, which legitimately sounds like they made a scam story and then they turned around and they said, hey, now we have a legitimate doctor's note right here. Yeah, we
Well,
do now.
here's the sad thing about Robinhood, and this is what really happened.
They're
Robinhood,
they're they're backed
Robinhood,
and supplied by the
well,
major hedge funds, aren't they?
preparing for an IPO, an initial public offering. So their first time being traded on the stock market themselves. And in order to get an IPO, you have to be backed by a major uh, brokerage or bank. Like if you've ever watched Wolf of Wall Street, you might be familiar kind of with the term. But essentially, they're sucking the dicks of these hedge funds right now because they're looking for a backer in order to go public, because that's where the real money's at. Because of them, they've
Hey,
got.
hey, 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 dude! I'm just gonna say, just in case somebody gets offended, just say not affiliated with male phallic object. Sorry, it's just dark humor right now with the way society is. I was just making a joke.
Oh, okay. Sorry, right over my head. But yeah, no, it's just it's look. Long story short, we just witnessed like, and I'm not overreacting at all. I'm being very genuine. We just witnessed one of the biggest frauds in America, and I mean, you know, whether you're Republican, you're a Democrat, you're in the middle, you know, you should be writing your fucking congressman or doing something, because this shit cannot fucking go on. We cannot live this way, or we're gonna lose everything. If
Well,
we're getting, we are a free economy. If you take that away from us, you know, you're already trying to limit our guns. They're already trying to limit a lot of our freedoms, and they've got all these great reasons for why they're doing it, right? So put all that shit aside, okay? But you fuck with our finances and you try to take the financial freedom away, that's just communism.
Rudy,
well,
we're not a free economy. We've
I,
never been a free economy,
we
and
have, but we are the closest thing to it in the world. We're
exactly. I will agree with you that we are the closest thing to a free economy and democracy and a republic and all that.
here you
But
go.
the way everything is going is legitimately China is saying to the US, oh, you need to take away the guns from the US. We're not partners with China. The European Union are saying, take away the guns from the US. And I'm not trying to make this about a firearms or Second Amendment kind of thing,
no,
but
no, no.
when it comes down to it, every other country that's not the United States of America is telling us we need to disarm. And the reason why is the simple fact we have the First Amendment, which is the freedom of speech, the ability to give us to talk and have a democracy and explain and exchange ideas and have, agreements or disagreements. And then when that falls short and somebody tries to overstep that, we have the Second Amendment, which is not to be infringed on, which is a God given right, not a human right, to be able to stand up and take back our country or to be able to defend our country. And I'm not trying to act like a constitutionalist. Trust me, I am not. I'm trying to look at this as a rationalist. If you put a set of laws and rules in front of me, and I was in the military, end of the day, those laws and rules I have to follow.
Right,
And
absolutely. Yeah.
it is what it is. Just because, they're convincing a populace of our society that you can change and you can call this hate speech, you can say all these other things to be able to shut other people's voices down. It is what it is, but they're giving a small percentage of people And I agree with the right. You can identify, you can side with this or that, whatever. But at the end of the day, it's us American people, gay, straight, LGBTQ, freaking black, white, first generation, second generation from any other country. We're supposed to melt together
It's
and find a democracy
that is
and
what
be able to
that's
freaking overcome.
100%. That's what this is all about. That's what this whole fucking country is supposed to be about. And
Right. And we lost that a couple of
this
years ago.
well, it wasn't just a couple years ago. It's been a long time. I feel like in the making, but
When I say a couple of years, I'm being polite.
we still have a chance. I really believe we still have a chance. I really do. I think
Yeah, after the next fight.
I think some of these younger generations are being more they're seeing more things that aren't just mainstream media. Um, my only fear of the future right now for our country is this social media craze, because I think that this is really, really going to put us on a path to a civil war.
Well,
Um,
hold on, just really quickly, because this is exactly kind of in line with what we were talking about. Like Shall Not said, commerce is 100% controlled,
yeah,
right? This is like these are all plays on a fucking chessboard that we all know what direction this is going, and it's shifting the culture of the company called the United States, and looking at how it's shifting the culture. Look at what's happened in the past couple of weeks. We've had a child, for lack of a better word. I can't get this fucking thing right. We've had a child, for lack of a better word, like a 17-year-old that turned in his father to the FBI that was at the Capitol riot, and it's not only is it being publicized, and not only is the kid being fucking encouraged, but the kid is being financially rewarded. And last I saw, had raised like $135,000 for turning in his father to the FBI. So you have one isolated situation right there.
and I
Then
mean,
you have and it's though the right and the left thing like isn't real. We just know that it exists in the perception of our country, right? So when I say right and left, that's what I mean.
yeah, yeah,
So then you have another situation where a girl turned in her mom for being at the Capitol riot. And Light, I'm probably going to need your help in a second, pulling the name of the guy that started the walkaway movement. You had the girl that turned in her mother for being at the Capitol riot, who's raised over $100,000. So they're not only being encouraged, they are being financially rewarded for turning on their family and turning them into the FBI for being supporters of a different view and for snitching on the terrorists, the extremists that laid siege to the Capitol. Like that shit had
Here,
nothing based on what we saw for like 7 months throughout our country. And the last one is the guy that started and founded the walkaway movement, where leftist Democrats, whatever you want to call them, left the party to go to the right. And it was a huge. It had social media had Facebook, Twitter. There was Reddit. Like it was blowing up because people were leaving the leftist party because they were saying it was so extreme, and they're not going to stand to watch their
So
country burn
hilarious,
down.
hilarious you say that, because last night, no, 2 nights ago, I watch 2 or 3 different mainstream media that contradicts each other, just to try to get an idea of what the truth is. That's just my style. So anyhow, I watched ABC World News Tonight, and they were telling a story about how in one day 4,000 Republican voters went to the DMV and changed to change their registration to Democrat. That is the biggest crock of shit. I mean, that is the most ridiculous that you can't get 3,000 people to go renew their tags in one day at the DMV. You're telling me that after the Capitol riots, these people went and became Democrat? I mean, come on. That's the kind of shit that makes the headlines.
But get this though, and I totally see what you're saying. Get this: that dude that created the walkaway movement posted a picture of himself on the Capitol steps, selfie shot, and a family member turned him into the FBI for being one of the insurgents at the Capitol riot. Yeah. Okay, so you're having all these people that are now starting to vilify. Oh, first, let me take a step back and say, okay, these people are turning on their family, their own flesh and blood over political beliefs, because this country, this is the complete bifurcation of this country. And I know I've said that several times, but the reason that I keep saying that is because this is like the duplicitous country of now left and right. Two different thoughts that separate everyone and is completely polarized everything, to the point where people are being encouraged to eliminate family members and they gain off of it. What does that sound like?
It sounds really, really similar to April of 1862.
It sounds really similar to fucking Nazi Germany as well. I mean, turn in your neighbors. They kept their firearms in 1941. Say again.
Now, one thing I'm going to say is I've mentioned this multiple times, that no matter what side you're on, this or that, because they're going to polarize every side, and there's one side that has taking to polarization as much as another side with small demographics of certain people, and straight up LGBTQ, African American or minorities. I'll put it like this: the minorities that I know that are first generation from heavily socialized or communistic countries like Cuba, South America, other places like that, that are here in America or here in my area, they refuse to go Democrat. They refuse to do this or that. But at the end of the day, they understand Republican, Democrat, it doesn't matter what side you're on. It is literally, there are people behind the scenes that are trying to push certain agendas that will end up happening no matter what side you're on. And it's not the people you vote for. It's not the electoral college that puts somebody into the cabinet or whatever it may be. There are a group of people influencing everything behind the scenes. They're the reasons why the Bolshevik Revolution happened. They're the reason why countries have fallen. They're the reason why countries have bowed down and changed 180 freaking degrees to be able to become something completely different. America is the last stronghold in the world. Communist China has already been conquered by these same people, and they're allowing Communist China, and they're telling them what to do to be able to further on their goal, because it doesn't matter who wins at the end of the day. It's always going to be a fight, and these same people are going to be in the background looking and giving advice and helping and influencing and pushing on to be able to make sure things happen, to be able to rebuild this country or help that country or yada yada yada. So what it truly is we're fighting against ourselves. And with this Wall Street bets, this the common man versus Wall Street, all this is one of those last final, Custer's last stands kind of things, where we're like, oh, we're sticking it to them. Freaking eat this shit. We got your mother freaking asses. But guess what? Give it another week, give it a month, and now we're gonna have legal legislation set up in place and everything else to be able to put all y'all back into the poor pit and screw y'all over, because it is what it is. And it doesn't matter how much money you make, or if you screw over this one small group, it's just a small little drop in the bucket. They are looking at the big game. They're looking at the long game.
Yeah.
Just happen to find a little exploit just to be able to freaking screw a couple of people that have nothing to do with the people behind the curtain,
Yeah.
and they are fighting back. So what I'm gonna say, and literally I'm gonna hop off right now, but I love every one of y'all here, and I just want to make this one comment. Doug's super important message, TM Archive. Love you, dude. Freaking hit me up on the email. And other than that, hey, Dark and Rudy, freaking go on with the rest of the night, man. I appreciate y'all.
See you, brother.
I'm just a little bit beat up, and I gotta do some stuff with my children in the morning. So I love y'all, gentlemen,
Love you too, brother. Take it easy, man.
and I love everybody else out there. Have a
Thanks
great.
for having me again.
There you go. So the thing that I see is our culture shifting to, and maybe I used a bad example of the gun thing because people, were dropping some comments. What, you know, people were encouraged to snitch on their neighbors that were harboring Jews, right? And now people are being encouraged and financially incentivized to snitch on people that are patriots, right?
Yeah.
And now looking at everything that came before this, like the FBI, sending out white papers on the Boogaloo movement, which is horseshit. It was just memes. It didn't. The only Boogaloo movement that exists are those leftist extremists, the Boog Boys. And that is the only group that I've ever heard of that is actually using that name. That shit is all a psyop. It was created by them, and everything, like a lot of y'all are saying in the he said, is that a Jameson beanie? Hell yeah.
Yes, it is.
Scarf too. All these strings are being pulled by the shoe people, and we know that. But the reason why we want to bring this up is because we see that everyone is saying, like, targeting military-aged males, mostly on the right, that are armed and that are going to be the new terrorists. Just like now, in the same stroke, with more shifting of the culture, the Proud Boys are a terrorist organization, and they're white supremacists, even though they're largely minorities in the Proud Boys. And all of this is shifting towards, us being a target, military-age males that are armed, that are constitutionalists. And once you are targeted, it is a great time to have the type of leadership that just came in for the next 4 years, because they will be able to target us specifically. And in the first week, Joe Biden signed over 40 executive orders.
Yeah.
In the first day, it was like 30 executive orders, or 17 the first day.
And look, don't get me wrong. I'm not against the Paris Climate Accord and some of the stuff that that they support. Like I said, I'm in the middle when it comes to politics, but when it comes to disarming your citizens, and I see exactly how they're trying to do it. They're trying to disarm us in a way that we don't even notice it's happening. And it's fascinating, it's creative, it's terrifying, man. It's terrifying. And the first thing that they said that really freaked me the fuck out was the buyback program, where they were going to buy back your assault rifles. If you owned any assault rifles, they'd buy them back from you.
Nope.
You know,
Oop, oop.
when they started, when I started arguing like that, that's when I started getting, really freaked out. But now I can see they're gonna do with guns what they did with cigarettes, which they're gonna fucking tax them to the roof to the point that they're not obtainable for the people that need to defend themselves. The only people that are gonna be able to get them are the elite. If you want to be able to, if you want to go fucking buy an AR-15, fine. Better have 10 grand.
Yeah.
And the average American man can't afford a $10,000 gun to protect his family.
Well, and that's what they did in 1934 with the National Firearms Act. They said, "Ha ha, we got you. All these, mobsters are using machine guns, short-barreled rifles, short-barreled shotguns, and we're going to tax y'all. So if you get caught with one that's not registered, you get 10 years in jail, up to $250,000 in fines. But you have to register them now, and it costs you $200. Well, back then, $200 could buy you a fucking Model T Ford, buy you a car, right? Nowadays, they didn't adjust it for inflation, so nowadays, 200. Like I got bolt carrier groups that cost more than $200. So like they're still available, but if Dugan said this before, if they're still available, if you can still get guns, it's because they want you to still have guns. Because what better way to...
Let me just say this. If I can order, not that I would, but if I can order, and I know that I can, if I can order fentanyl by the pound off of the internet, shipped to my house from China, you best fucking believe that
Can you really?
Chicago can get their hand on an AK-47. It's that fucking... And if you're that naive and you don't think that, if you think that banning the sale of firearms is going to keep you safe, you're a fucking fool, and you're going to regret it, because the day that they ban firearms is the day that somebody breaks into your house and takes anything, whatever they want.
Let's hit on one more thing too, because this is so. A lot of the things that we talk about on this channel are outside of all the crazy conspiracy theories that we do. Is guns, gear, energetics, we'll call them. Things that go pow pow, but also things that go boom boom, and they are. Detective John Kimball put a great comment in here. There's going to be another revolution in the Second Amendment community once 3D printing becomes more efficient and stronger. Once that becomes more mainstream, people will flock towards printing. There's something that's changed even more in 3D printing. So back to quickly to the culture shift is now, and guys, if you have questions too, put them in the comments. I'm sorry, it's hard to stay focused and go back and forth, but I promise I'll go back to them and read them for me or for Rudy if you have questions. What they've done is, 3D printers used to be thousands of dollars. Like they were out of reach for, the average man.
New technology. I mean,
yeah. And now here we are in 2020, 2021, where you could order a Creality Indoor 3 for like $157 fucking dollars, and you can make a lot of shit. You can print a 100% usable firearm with the ability of just grabbing some other parts as well.
I mean, essentially, you can go on the dark web, especially, and get any 3D print model you want downloaded to your computer.
What up, Pacone?
Like, for instance,
we got a celebrity in here. What's cracking, Pacone?
But what I was saying is, you can go on the dark web, man. You can go ahead and purchase the blueprints for an AK-47. If you have the correct 3D printer, you have the trigger, you have a couple other pieces, you can go ahead and 3D print that bitch in no time, man.
Yeah, now they got the plastic off. They got all sorts of shit that's available. But
so, I mean, that just goes back to what my biggest thing is, if anyone in this fucking country thinks that if you take away guns from people like myself or yourself or whoever's listening,
I don't own firearms.
Any guns, and if you take away right, me neither. But yeah, if you take away any guns from anybody, right, you're going to you're going to end up arming people that you don't want to have guns, and that's just how guns work.
Yeah.
That's and it goes to show in every fucking country ever. I mean, that's how it works.
Yeah. Well, to finish one quick thought is looking at the um, technology of 3D printing and the availability of it now. And we had Cody Wilson on the podcast recently, and he was on TFB TV. That's how we got connected to James Reeves. But these printers were thousands of dollars. And like I said, you could go get a Creality Endor 3 for less than $160 right now and use it to print a usable firearm, usable 100% Glock frames, all that shit, which I encourage you to build, learn how to build, teach others to build, right?
Absolutely.
But now, so there are machines that print with Inconel and steel. And take a guess, for the people in the comments, take a guess at how much it costs to buy a machine that 3D prints in steel and Inconel, which is a super metal. Inconel is used for like a lot of the new suppressors.
Let's see.
How much do you think something like that machine would cost?
Let's see, $5K. I see. Anybody else? $5K, $8,000.
Keep going.
A little bit more.
Picone, how much you think a 3D printer that prints steel and metal is selling for right now? $100K, $8K. So here's the deal. You used to be able to get small to medium size for $25,000 to $40,000. They are available right now. You could purchase them for $5,000. $5,000. $5,000. You could be printing aluminum, steel.
Now, as wonderful as a tool is,
not aluminum. I'm sorry, Inconel and steel.
As a tool is for people like ourselves that want to be able to have guns, you have to understand as well that if you sell, I don't know, half a kilo of crack, right, in Detroit,
which we don't endorse anyone to do.
But what I'm saying is you can easily afford that. And so what's going to happen is you are going to be giving criminals access to weapons that normally we would have much easier access to, because not every average man and woman is going to be able to build these 3D printed guns.
Yeah.
And they're going to find a way to do it, just like they find a way to get fentanyl and heroin and crack and whatever.
Yeah. It's intention, right? Even if guns didn't exist at all, if they were gone, if they were completely removed from our world, intention is the motherfucker that gets shit done. Intention could be, a pack of matches in a gas can. It could be a truck, an 18-wheeler. It could be a knife. It could be, there's so many. Intention and the will to commit something is more dangerous than
exactly
a gun, a vehicle, or anything.
Guns don't kill people. This is the oldest saying in the book, man. It's a fucking fact. Guns have never, ever killed anybody.
Bullets do.
Kill people. You know what I mean? People kill people, dude. This gun is not going to fucking shoot unless I pull the trigger.
Yeah.
That's just how it works.
Yeah. So looking at the shift in the culture, looking at how, now the military age male that is armed, that is right of center, is the one that's vilified. Now, the storming of the Capitol has, brought us into this, frenzy where fucking anyone that's right of center is the domestic terrorist. Proud Boys are terrorists, and white supremacy groups, all this shit. We are.
I just read a comment. Mellow Yellow said you should see what they're putting in government contractor buildings. Machines that plasma cut, weld, and assemble parts. Are you referring to like General Dynamics and like Raytheon, like military contractors, or are you referring to like Leidos and like more of like your information technology contractors? If you're listening still, that is. Just curious.
DS88 said, left my ass off. Storming of the Capitol serving as the precedent for what they're trying to implement. That's exactly right. This is all manipulated, just as those stocks were manipulated. This is a narrative. This is a plan, and these are just pieces being moved on the fucking chessboard. That's all it is. And if I have two schools of thought on this, okay, and this may be a little extreme. So let me first start off by saying this. No one on this channel will ever encourage you to commit violence. We're sending these messages out because we want peace. We want to wake people up so they can see the truth and understand that the best chance they have is to become as self-sufficient as possible in every aspect.
Here. That's we don't want violence at all. We don't. That's the fear is.
Yeah. You don't want to have to wake up and like to fight your way to work. Instead of fighting traffic, you're walking over corpses in the street. And what they want is to normalize violence so that, this is our everyday life. And the best way to do that is to polarize a country and then fucking sick them against each other and then have an external threat like China. Right? We know the risks there, but they're doing this so strategically. And though none of us would ever, condone violence, what I would say is that if something happened where within the United States we being like, patriots, the people that would fight back, had to grab our gear and our rifles and get in full battle rattle and, go to war, I have two schools of thoughts on this, where one is, people say like your AR isn't going to do shit against, against the military. And I would say to anyone that says that they did not see our fucking 20-year war in the Middle East, in Iraq and Afghanistan and Kuwait and fucking.
Our military is not ever going to turn on us. Our military will always be. They will always have our back.
At least half until they're starving and dying of thirst.
At least half. Oh yeah, at least.
Yeah, because it's amazing what a motherfucker will do when they're handcuffed to a table and they're fucking dying of thirst and starving.
Absolutely, but it's a different story when they're fucking raiding your mother's house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I do believe that and I have friends that are Marines that have told me straight up, if it came down to it, they would never harm an American citizen. That's not what they signed up for.
Yeah.
And just to get back to Mellow Yellow, that's crazy you say that, because the military contractors, I've heard some rumors about that. There's some kind of new material that they're trying to use, I guess, on these new planes or something. But yeah.
I'm sorry, real quickly. Literally, Tim Payne just finished my thought. Oh shit, I just lost Rudy. You just finished my thought, bro, which was, there you go. You just finished my thought, which was, tell that to the motherfuckers overseas that are fighting dudes in bathrobes with flip-flops and AKs. That shit is going on every fucking day. But the real ticket is not only just your rifle, your armor, your gear, your whatever. It's energetics. Study energetics. Study chemistry. Learn how to make energetics for all legal purposes, and follow all federal and state regulations regarding energetics. Sorry, please go back.
Yeah, and like, just to go back to what you said earlier, all kidding aside, like, violence is not fucking cool. It's not, we're not in a situation where we should be trying to blow up our fucking Congress building or attack our Capitol or hurt our president or anything like that. That's not at all what the message here is. What personally, at least, and I think Dark agrees with me. What we're trying to say is, prepare yourself so that if it comes to your doorstep, that you and your family are going to be taken care of. Not prepare yourself to take it to somebody else's doorstep.
Yeah.
And that's my 2 cents on it.
No, I agree. It's the real challenge is going to be whenever the war comes and lays right in front of us. The real challenge is going to be not suiting up and going out and doing something. The challenge is going to be, how do I blend in? Instead of throwing on my plate carrier and open carrying my AR, how do I put on concealable armor and a Glock 17 in my waistband? Blend in, Y'all are literally going to be walking around with a fucking COVID pass, with a fucking, I got my shot, tattoo. And
I guarantee you, within the next year, almost every fucking company, Fortune 500 company in the United States, will require you to have a COVID vaccine before you can come to work. Guaranteed.
Yeah. So real quick, gray man. Yeah, that is exactly what it is. Stay low key. The lone wolf is the most dangerous motherfucker in the world. The people that are all, suiting up and, getting with their fucking big ass militias and shit. The community is although, like, I wish, like, in real life that were like the ticket. The gray man, the lone wolf, is just the way to stay safe. All right, we're gonna have to cut this soon, guys. Let me see who has some other questions and shit. I know we deviated a little bit, but I felt important to talk about these things shifting with our culture, man. Like, people are being financially rewarded to turn in family members that have different ideological beliefs. Like, think about that for a second. Google the shit. Google kid turns in dad to FBI and
it is a fact. Another thing is, like you were saying, the Nazis, that's a great example. But I mean, go back, look up, what happened. I believe it was April 16th, 1865 was the day the Civil War started. And, you had dads fighting fucking sons in the yard with, muskets back then. But, it's the same idea. That they 2 fractions of our government were able to completely split us down to our brothers and sisters and had us kill each other.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm looking through reading some of the comments.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Pacone, what vid made you sick? Hold on. Oh, the video of the dude turning in his father to the FBI. So just to recap, for maybe not all y'all were here, the kid turned in his dad to the FBI and made over $130,000. Okay, and these are all mostly leftist extremists that are donating to him. The chick turned in her mother that was at the Capitol riot and made over $100,000. The guy who founded the walkaway movement took a selfie on the Capitol steps and was turned in by a family member and arrested as a fucking domestic terrorist.
I just want to point out, if you guys want to Google any of this stuff, I highly recommend that instead of going to Google, you go to a website called DuckDuckGo.com. And then Google this stuff, because DuckDuckGo.com, it doesn't track your shit. It also doesn't. It's not gonna. You're gonna get the real shit. You're not gonna get the stories that Google's been paid to promote.
Yeah.
So,
although I wonder who created DuckDuckGo.
DuckDuckGo is, from what I understand. I mean, they seem pretty pretty anti bullshit. So I kind of like them so far.
Yeah, no.
Who knows? Who knows?
I always think
Facebook. I don't know, man. You never know.
everything is compromised. I don't know. I mean, obviously, like I get it. Like that's probably a safer method. Um, Let me see. The only way we gain ground in this occupation is to apply pressure. Until then, the dominoes will not stop towards ultimate slavery. Yeah, man, we're already there, brother. We are every single day. We wake up, we go to work. We are slaves to money. We are slaves to this corporation called the United States. And we are built and programmed to not spend time with our family. We are built and programmed and we are designed to slave for money just to be able to survive, to live in this life of fucking consumerism and Amazon Prime and fucking Starbucks rewards. It's disgusting.
Wait, Starbucks has rewards?
Yeah, right. I get a free drink on my birthday. All right, what questions do y'all have before we break out? This was just kind of a little stream. We wanted to hop on and do it.
Yeah, Hey, look, Tim Payne. I'll tell you, my buddy's a Marine, and he actually agrees with you. They are worried about that. That is true.
What's that?
There's talks amongst some of the infantry guys that they're worried about some kind of communist takeover and having to basically be forced to police the United States.
Really?
So yeah, no, it's obviously that's a rumor. That's nothing that there's no factual evidence behind that. But yeah, that is something that's being kicked around right now. So, but yeah.
Yeah. All right. I think we're about to wrap it up, guys. Do me a favor and enter in the comments. Was any of this valuable to you this evening? Did any of y'all get good information? Or even did it just feel good to listen to our rant? Yes, Picone, it does seem that the powers that be are running out of time. The way I describe it is like this. When you look at a roller coaster, right, you have like that hump, that first hump where like you're going up the hill, right? And then the first car goes over, nothing happens. Second car goes over, nothing happens. You don't feel any different, right? Third car goes over, you're already passing the threshold, but you feel nothing, right? Fourth car goes over, fifth car, you're still continuing to go over that hill, but nothing happens, right? Then that sixth, seventh, eighth car goes over. Then all of a sudden, when this is where we are right now, okay, we don't feel much of a difference. You may be getting that little bit of a nauseating feeling in your stomach, but the moment that last car goes over, like you are propelled into this fucking dystopian future of shit that we're going to be. I mean, we're probably not even going to fucking realize it at the time because it's going to be going so fast. But all of us, every single one of us will be looking back saying, Jesus Christ, how did I not see these signs? How did I not see that X, Y, and Z was going to lead to, whatever? We just...
Hey, you know what? Until then, God bless America. And thank everybody for chatting and chiming in tonight. I appreciate it. Dark, thank you for having me back on the show. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
Hopefully you guys invite me back soon. So take care, everybody.
Are you making fun? All right, you're good to go. I'm gonna say my piece to the peeps, and then I'm out as well.
All right, brother. Take care now.
All right, brother. Take it easy. Are you making fun of me using that analogy again? I do love that analogy because it's so great. It perfectly explains that like we're already walking into the future that we're scared, that we're so fearful of, but we're blind to it. We don't feel it yet. And then bam, just before we even know it, it just fucking happens. And it is with such like speed and velocity that it's crazy. All right, what do y'all got before I peace out? Thank you. It's a really great analogy. You know, I thought about it when I was watching a roller coaster. And that moment that last car went over, I was like, holy fuck. That what I just saw right there was literally like where the country is. You know, that's what I do too. I look for things, I look for examples, I look for patterns in my life. I, you know, always keep my third eye open. All right. I disagree with you thinking that rifles can do anything. Tell me more about that. What do you mean? Eric, tell me more about that. What do you mean? You think that the government couldn't win in Afghanistan if they wanted? Oh, no, for sure. I mean, I understand that. What I mean is that, well, I'll ask questions instead. Did we experience casualties in that war that's really like still kind of going on? But did we experience casualties? What I'm saying, 'cause there's a little bit of a time lag. Pacone, I agree 100%, brother. I'm not saying, I'm saying two things with that. I'm saying rifles will help you, and rifles are not the only thing that will help you. Energetics are going to be more valuable in a situation where we have no control and where we, you know, if you're going up against a fucking MRAP, like a Bradley, like what the fuck are you gonna do if you don't have something that's going, you know, 6 to 10,000 meters per second? You know, you're short. Now, with that said, even like we don't want to fight. I don't want to fight. I don't want like I have a child. You know, like I don't want to fight. Now, I would rather fight so that my child does not have to. Right? I would rather endure the pain of war so that they do not have to. That like of course that's the plan. Tannerite too. Fuck yeah. Tannerite's a great energetic. You can buy it in bulk and then buy your aluminum powder separately and never mix it together and travel with it because that would be a violation of the federal. Okay, so what I'm saying is it's not just about the rifle. It's not just about the energetics. It is also about self-sufficiency. It is about the ability to care for yourself, your family, and others, and people in your community. Because the beauty of this would be if we could avoid a fight and if we could just live, that would be awesome. Okay, so fuck it. I'm going to say something that I've never said on a stream before, and I don't know how many people in here are, you know, from the original community. I hope there's a good deal of them. The Branch Daguinians, we call them. So I am currently heavily involved with Wildcore. I won't say what position I currently hold, but I'm heavily involved with Wildcore. I'll say that. And up until like 10 days ago, Wildcore was completely useless. We couldn't take a donation. We couldn't take anything at all because we didn't get our 501c3 status back yet from the IRS. Well, as of now, as of about 10 days ago, Wildcore is officially a 501c3. We can accept donations. We can give you back tax receipts. We can follow our model of accepting land donations. There are federal grants that can help us. There are state grants that can help us. We are going to be able to start our first park. And by park, I mean our first food forest. Not only our first food forest that will have campgrounds, that will have a completely self-sufficient body of water on it, that everything is going to be modeled so we can scale it and duplicate it all over the fucking country. But to do that, we need money. We need volunteers. I am not asking you guys for anything. I never have. I never will. We're not going to monetize anything. Like, I know that it would be a good idea to do that, but I don't feel that it would be fair to accept money from you guys. Like, these are two different things, okay? And for the same reason that Dugan passed this on to me to, head up Wildcore, it wouldn't be fair. I don't want it to appear that I'm benefiting from it, okay? And I know a lot of y'all want to help, and what we're doing is we are now getting everything set up to where now that we can accept donations, now that we can accept land donations, now that we can start, targeting prospects that want to give land and all those things, we are going to be able to model out and start our first park. And our first park is going to be a literal forest of fucking trees that will outlive all of us, that people will be able to have safe passage, and they'll be able to have a sanctuary of peace. So that's our vision of it. Okay, anything that's great. And we, I totally understand, like, Armitage, we're not asking you directly for money. DS, we can talk about that for sure. Bro, Pacone, fuck yes. Dude, I will take you up on that, bro. Pacone, email, if you can write, actually, I'm going to put a comment in real quick. The darkest Mavis at gmail.com. Sorry, I'm hunting and pecking because I got a bunch of shit on my keyboard. Has the Wildcore website developed anything past an email drop so I can get more information? Not yet. Not right now. It's like this literally happened 10 days ago, and the treasurer and the two other people that are helping with the organization are not currently stateside. Is your 501c3 status on a state level or federal? It is a federal level. I'm up in the Northeast. I'm very on board with helping in any way I can. I have a little money, but not a lot, but I care about this idea. It's got a well on it, pump, it's still electric running. Bro, it honestly, anything that we could do that we could start, I mean, I got to get the guys involved too, but we'll take anything, because imagine a world that is trying to be destroyed, that we come together as a community, as a true community, and we sustain the country, possibly the world, by putting food forests and sanctuaries of peace all over the place. Like that's crazy. Tucson, thanks, brother. Appreciate it. All right, guys, it's 1:24 where I'm at. For the people that were asking, that is that's a Draco. It's a hard chrome Draco with plum furniture, and I got a bunch of Circle 10 plum mags to go with it, and that's my baby. I've had that for a long time. I just happened to be wearing this hoodie. It wasn't on purpose, I promise. It's my hoodie around the house, so I don't look like a crazy person when I'm out and about. This is my gun room. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate it. Make your site accept BAT people who use Brave. Get paid along BT. Definitely a Robski fan, aren't you? Robski, now. So I'm like 34, I think. 34, 35. I don't remember, somewhere around there. I'm between 33 and 35. And I bought that when I turned 21. And then I sent that to a company called Ford's Custom Gun Refinishing out in Florida. And they completely hard chromed it. They also, oh shit, I can't show you. It's a fucking live stream. They'll pull it. I'll tell you what. Here's what I'll tell you. Hold on. I right now am building. I wanted to build something so ridiculous and so obscure that it would almost be like embarrassing to get shot by it. I am building a rainbow fucking Glock. You look at the extractor on that joint. The extractor is rose gold, and most of the parts on the it's a Glock 34. Most of the parts on it are going to be all chameleon, rainbow. I mean, this shit's going to be wild, bro. Like, look at it's titanium nitride, chameleon, rainbow. Like, it literally changes colors in front of your eyes. It's crazy. So it's going to be a gray frame, stainless slide, OEM style slide. And it's it's got the chameleon barrel, rainbow barrel. Yep, unicorn Glock. That's literally what I was calling it. That's too funny. So rainbow barrel and rainbow guide rod with matching fluting, rainbow pins, rainbow slide lock, rainbow backplate, which is actually heat treated titanium. So it's got this really cool, almost like a color case hardened look, but it matches that chameleon shit. Same thing, a heat treated titanium magazine release, and like every single component that I, except the slide, that I could get chameleon or rainbow, I did that. It's going to be nuts. So yeah, that's the unicorn Glock. So all right, guys, I am it's got plum on it. It gets a pass. Thanks, brother. Yeah, the plum is sick though, especially with the contrast to that hard chrome. I'd show you another gun I got hard chrome, but YouTube will pull this down in a second if I do. So believe it or not, I'm getting all of these parts. So right now, gun parts are like unobtainium, okay? And what I would tell you is get very picky and very creative. I am going on eBay, and I'm selling shit that doesn't matter to me. Like I sold like a Circle 10 plum bayonet that I haven't touched, a bunch of gear, like a stupid tactical vest with, no armor inserts, and like dumb shit like that I don't need, gear that I don't need. And I'm putting all of that money into this build, because why am I going to have cases and cases of stupid ass gear that I don't need? Put it into something that goes pow pow. So, all right, I'm out, y'all. Peace. Thank you guys. Love y'all. Hey, and remember, you guys are our ambassadors, okay? So go out there. Please like this video, comment, whatever we can do to break the algorithm, because we're getting throttled. We are losing subs like crazy. We had like 80 subs taken from us, and it's not just people going and unsubbing like crazy. It's nuts, man. I would have thought that a fucking channel as small as this would be getting throttled so heavily. It's crazy. And we just want to get the message out to you guys. So, Dark, I love you too, brother. Yes, good time to unload stuff for newer toys. All right, I could talk to y'all all night. I love y'all. Like, subscribe, fucking share. Even if you just share it and share it with yourself, like we just need to have the button clicked. That's it. Thank you guys. Y'all have a great night. And don't forget Friday, this coming up Friday, 9:30 Eastern, James Reeves with fucking TFB TV will be up in this bitch. So love y'all. Y'all take it easy. Peace.